Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. Yes, Bitcoin on the 4 hour. Yeah, as we can see, we got close to our upper side resistance level, which is good going, seeing as we pretty much came in a straight line all the way from the bottom side of our wider range. So yeah, makes sense, makes perfect sense that we are currently coming back down to back test the midpoint, which, as you can see, the midpoint of the range, and also has pretty much governed a lot of these highs recently as well. So it was obviously an important and formidable resistance level. So yeah, breaking back above it pretty emphatically here, and coming back to back test it in the context of a bullish move is obviously perfectly healthy there. Obviously, what we do need to see is that we don't lose this level. If we do lose this level, then obviously, lose basically, we can call it the lower level of this range, roughly 35,000. Then things are not going to look too good. And then, yeah, I mean, certainly if we come back down, we basically erase this whole move up. And then, yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty bearish, and then we would have a good chance of losing our $30,000 level. But that is not necessarily what is going to happen. We could very easily just be trading sideways within the wider range, but just with a potential upward bias in kind of the same way we were trading in the lower end of the range with a sort of downward bias. We can do this for a prolonged period of time. If we look at this was from this whole move, the whole move down below here, say the 20th of June all the way to the 25th of July, so over a month. So if we spend over a month trading sideways in here, that won't be the worst thing at all. Like I think I said a few times, as long as we don't lose 30k, I don't really care how long. Sorry, I don't really care how long we trade sideways within this this wider range, as long as ultimately we break to the upside. So yeah, things are looking pretty healthy here. Obviously, we are not too far away from the point where they can start to look not so healthy. That obviously being losing 35,000 on a closing basis, which is it's a mere $2,000 stone's throw away from current price action. But like I said, I do think we can get a bounce here, and then it will be a case of, can we get back above this this upper quartile resistance level, and then start testing into the 40Ks, or do we just bounce around sideways between this level before breaking up and then trading sideways, and then just doing our normal sideways meandering price action. But yeah, the main takeaway is that we have got very far away from $30,000 for the time being, and towards the top half of our range, and obviously we have obviously taken out this series of lower highs. So yeah, working on that higher low. Ideally, we want it to be around this level. We want it to be the higher low to be at or above this resistance level, support level here, and then turn back up. And yeah, we'll have a reversal on our hands. And then yeah, be looking at some point in time to try and take out this upper level of resistance for our wider range, and then look to establish a new range somewhere within this higher level. Ethereum Satoshi pairing, as we can see, has been struggling with these moves in Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin, it basically does stabilize around where it is now and starts to move back up and starts to consolidate, I would expect the altcoins to get a bit of joy, which would obviously include Ethereum. So yeah, and then maybe this can pick itself back up from where it is now. But obviously at the moment, altcoins are on Bitcoin watch, where they're just basically waiting for potential big moves in either direction for Bitcoin. So they are bleeding out whilst they await some obvious consolidation. The dollar pairing, as well, as we can see, has Well, it's looking like it is coming to perfectly back check our downward sloping trend line, potentially even going to get us deeper this horizontal. But as it stands at the moment, we've got a forward check, a back check, and are we now going to get a paycheck onwards and upwards to try and take out this well, $2,900 level and move back up to towards all-time highs. Bitcoin dominance, as well as you can see, has still obviously stayed up there because because Bitcoin is still threatening to make big moves, and it's still making big moves. So obviously, regardless of the direction, up or down, altcoins will struggle with Bitcoin when the focus is on Bitcoin. So yeah, as you can see, this is up there. Obviously, we want this to get rejected and come back down eventually, but that may not happen until Bitcoin does a little bit more prolonged sideways consolidation in this level, to volatility comes back down, and then yeah, people just become a bit more comfortable with looking for gains elsewhere other than in Bitcoin. The DXY still basically holding around its sort of pattern it's in. I mean, kind of threatening to lose this trend line with Durin, but has bounced back above it. So we are pretty much probably waiting for Jerome Powell to say something, either bullish or bearish for the dollar, and then we will probably get a move either above this resistance or below this support. So yeah, what else want to look at? Stock markets doing their usual thing, hanging around those highs. As long as we're above this level here, we are obviously bullish and looking for new highs. So yeah, obviously we're gonna wait to see what happens with obviously the FOMC and stimulus bills and earnings and all that cool stuff that is coming this week. So yeah, what else? Anything else you want to look at on here? Not really much else we need to look at on here. So yeah, the stochastics we are basically wanting to feed through to these higher time frames to get them moving up, to get that momentum, to get things looking, well, basically, I mean, like I keep saying, just to get things looking like we aren't going to take out $30,000. That is literally my only real concern at the moment, because like I said, we can trade sideways here, bounce around, do whatever for as long as we like. Bitcoin can take its sweet time, as long as we're not getting towards or taking out $30,000. So yeah, these higher time frames, stochastic starting to turn and move up, would obviously give us a good chance of not taking out 30,000. So let's have a look at them and see how they're doing anyway. 4 hour is coming down. We did say that the 4, 10 and 12 hour were looking toppy yesterday. So yeah, pretty much to expect some sort of consolidation, or basically trying to print that higher low, and obviously that the level that we are trying to print it at is the ideal level realistically to print it at. But yeah, so that is obviously what is going on with these 4, 10 and 12 hours, which we'll just wait for the 10 hour to load up. But yeah, you can see 10 hour has turned down, obviously moving down. 12 hour, I mean, they're still in the bullish zone, so if the price action does pick back up again, they can certainly hold up here. But they are certainly a bit of a drag on price action at the moment. 12 hour daily still pointing upwards, but potentially threatening to turn back down, and these are the ones that we're kind of looking more at now. 2 day moving up, looking to get into the bullish zone. 3 day moving up. Obviously, we're obviously waiting for this to get up to the bullish zone, but it'll take a few ticks on this, but nonetheless moving up and looking better. 5 day also turn back up. Weekly turn back up as well, and bi-weekly still diving, so this will be another one that we'll be waiting to turn around. I mean, maybe it turns around roughly in line with this trend line, and then the monthly, we're waiting for that to turn back up, and as you can see, has lost its downward momentum also. So we very much can have a very good moving average posturing to the upside over, like I said, even if we trade sideways in here for like another month, in this top half of the range, that very much so can turn around these and get these moving to the upside, and then that is obviously gonna offer some nice nice support anyway, support for price action and an upward bias that can potentially get us well onwards and upwards towards 100k plus Bitcoin. But obviously we'll have some work to do in this range. Even if we do basically trade sideways for a month or so before we break out, I do think we'll then establish a new range somewhere in here where we'll probably spend a month, maybe two, potentially less. If we spend about a month extra down here, maybe we'll only spend about a month in the next range before we do potentially break to the break even higher. But yeah, that's kind of what I would be expecting. So I don't really expect us to just moonshot straight back up. We are playing with big numbers for Bitcoins now. Big numbers, so I do think there will obviously be selling from people that have obviously had Bitcoin for increasingly longer amounts of time in ridiculously higher levels of profit. So I do think we can basically have a bit of resistance, a bit of sideways trade, sideways to upward bias as we try and grind through this zone. And then obviously clearly once we do take out the all-time highs, that's when we might see some hockey stick parabola upward price action towards that 100k. And yeah, that is basically what I'm expecting. And looking at, obviously, we do realistically know the downside risk is we break back below this midpoint of our range, and then yeah, if we do then start to come and test lower, it will start to look pretty bad. It will start to look pretty bad for such a strong move upwards to get fully retraced and rejected. And yeah, that would give us a lot of extra downward momentum. Obviously falling from such a high height down towards the 30k would give us a good shot of breaking down, and then realistically it's like we're just looking for a sideways range at lower levels. Maybe that would be between 20k and well about 27k. Maybe we form a range here before trying to turn back up. But yeah, that is just to cover the downside of what could potentially happen, what we are looking out for. But yeah, that all being said, things are looking a lot better. If we do print a nice higher low where we are now, start to move back up and over 38,000, trade sideways a bit here. I mean, we have got a good chance, obviously, of breaking above, and then just forming that range earlier than I would maybe expect, but like I said, that is fine. Like I said, we could trade sideways as long as we want, as long as ultimately we break up to the upside and stay away from 30k. So if we do that sooner rather than later, that is okay. That is clearly okay. And then I would expect we would form a range higher within this zone, and then actually just trade longer within that sideways range. Before going for new all-time highs for Bitcoin. So yeah, there we go, guys. This was clearly not financial advice. I think I definitely rambled on a little bit this morning in this morning's video, so apologies for that. But yeah, that again, it's not financial advice, and I shall speak to you guys soon.